The biggest shift in AI just happened. The AI agency model didn't fail, it quietly changed, and most people are still building for the version that will soon no longer exist. Have you ever wondered how some AI agencies manage to close 30K deals while other agencies still struggle to close a $1,000 deal? These profitable AI agencies in 2026 aren't faster, smarter, or using better tools. They're playing a completely different game. Most people think that the edge in this space is mastering tools like n8n, but the 1% already moved past that. And it's that gap that's killing most AI agencies right now. Now, this is the uncomfortable part that no one wants to admit. It now takes minutes, not hours, to build fully automated AI systems. And when what you build becomes cheap, fast, and repeatable, it doesn't just scale, it becomes replaceable. Why? Because the moment OpenAI or another platform releases a native feature that does exactly what we AI agencies offer, only faster, cheaper, or out of the box, like we've seen with some of these platforms, it becomes a commodity and the value disappears overnight. Now, I've been in this space for almost 3 years. I've built solutions for dozens of companies across multiple industries, coached over 50 AI agency owners, and connected with some of the big names that you see in this space. I've watched market shifts happen in real time, and I've learned to recognize the patterns. And here's the truth. While most people are focusing on learning AI automation tools, the market is shifting underneath our feet, and most have no idea about what's coming. So, if you want to make real impact in the AI space, pay attention because what I'm about to share with you comes from real conversation with clients making real investment decisions in AI in 2026, not some theory or speculation. And once you see this shift, you will never sell AI the same way again. Let me show you what most AI agencies are still doing. They sell an AI automation for $3,000. It takes them about 2 weeks to build. If you're lucky, they close about 3 projects in a month. That's $9,000. Sounds decent until you realize this. Every single month, their revenue resets back to zero and they have to find new clients. And with that, they're always stressed. No retainers, no leverage, no compounding. As soon as the project finishes, they're right back to looking for the next automation they can handle, and sometimes those opportunities don't present themselves. And some don't even get that far. They're stuck on platforms like Upwork, competing against $25 an hour automation gigs, while at the same time, you hear that someone quietly closed a $30,000 deal for something that had to do with even less work. That difference isn't effort, it's not skill, and it's definitely not better tools. But what's even worse is this. The tools are now getting easier to use. And initially, that might sound like a really good thing. I mean, it means that the barrier to entry is now low. It's really easy to learn these tools. But what that also means is that these small to medium-sized business owners are now learning how to implement these solutions by themselves. And the platforms are shipping these native features at an insane pace. For example, I'm seeing some companies stop outsourcing basic automations altogether. Instead of hiring an agency, they just assign it internally. They'd hire a junior op or maybe just an intern or someone that's even not technical on the team. And they give them very simple instructions, which is watch these YouTube videos, connect our CRM to the email tool, and automate the follow-ups, and make sure you clean up the manual step. And at the same time, we're seeing an explosion of step-to-step tutorials on how to build and master tools like n8n. I've also seen this at the other end of the spectrum. For example, I worked with a business owner in his 70s. He had no technical background whatsoever, and he had no interest in becoming an AI guy. He just got tired of waiting 2 weeks and paying thousands for changing something that took minutes to implement. So, what did he do? He just learned enough not to build systems from scratch, but to automate the bottlenecks that he thought he had in his business. Today, he handles everything in house that agencies used to actually charge premium retainers for. And we've seen that platforms like ChatGPT, Claude, and other platforms can generate nearly finished automation workflows, as well as other platforms like Bolt.new, Lovable, that can literally create apps in minutes. And is only going to get better over time. So, where does that leave us AI agency owners? Here's the shift most people haven't noticed yet. The biggest mistakes AI agencies make is confusing tools with value. The value has moved upstream. But by now, it's clear that you can't just say, I build AI solutions with this fancy GPT model that connects to this API. Business owners don't care about APIs. They don't care about some fancy API and a fancy model that you can use to connect something together. They care about results, outcomes, and transformation. The highest paid AI agencies in 2026 don't just sell AI, they sell outcomes and clarity. How? By identifying the problems that actually hurt in a business and the gaps that exist, and then providing a solution that actually solves them. And here's why this is important, because once you understand this, the old AI agency model starts to look very fragile. How do these top 1% AI agencies actually do this? What do they see that these other AI agencies miss out on? First, let's look at the business impact hierarchies for the AI agency levels. Here we have the AI agency impact ladder, and each level rises in increasing value. In level 1, we have the tool operator, and this is execution without strategy. This focuses on mastering automations, workflows, basic AI tools, but the value here is very low because these small to medium sized businesses can easily replicate this with just some basic knowledge and watching tutorials, for example, on YouTube. In level 2, we have the tech integrator. And this is someone that has actually gone above to learn more about APIs, connecting external systems, how to transform data. So the more complex technicities that come with AI automation, for example. So it is still useful today, but it could become replaceable the more AI improves. Because once we have an AI platform that has zero issue in doing all those technicalities, then the value in this level vanishes. In level 3, we have the system designer. And this is when the person has mastered the tools, know how to do all the complex tech integrations, and now they also know how to build effective systems. So they could just look at a problem and know, okay, this is what we need to automate, this is what we need to build, and how to do it most efficiently without a lot of errors. In level 4, we have the problem diagnosis, and this is where the gold really starts showing up. Because here, you're able to find the actual real bottleneck in a business. And you do that before you actually start to build anything. And that system that you build delivers measurable value to that business because you've been able to identify a problem that they actually have and you've provided them with a solution for that. In level 5, we have strategic impact, and this is where AI transformation actually happens. Here, you create systems that compound value over time, and by integrating AI into these businesses, you can actually redesign exactly everything about how the business operates, from their operations to their sales, and you do this for maximum impact. So, what we're seeing today is that most AI agencies are over here in this commoditized and replaceable zone. And this is where they're competing. And here, this is where price competition and things like that fall under. But when we come to the 1%, which is the impact and value zone, this is where high ticket offers are actually made. This is where the gold lies. Now, notice something. These high level agencies don't just sell random AI automations just because they think a business might need them. They use AI automations as tools to solve fundamental business problems, not just making a system faster or improving an operation just to make it faster with speed. They don't ask questions like, what can I automate for you? Instead, they ask what's actually preventing the business from moving forward and not hitting your goals. And they go ahead to provide the solutions to those problems. So, your goal is not just to complete some task, it's to actually create leverage and competitive advantages for these businesses. They unlock new revenue and position themselves as long-term partners, and that's what sustains you. That's what's keeping you relevant in all this commoditization changes in the coming decades. So think about it like this. It's like the same thing with computers. It's not about owning them, it's how they're applied that actually brings about the value. So, how do you make this shift? How do you go from being a tool focused agency to an outcome driven agency that actually delivers results? Or, as they're called, AI transformation partners, or as I like to call it, AI transformation architects. If you're looking for a practical step by step way to actually implement this and to get feedback as you build your real world AI transformation solutions, check out my free school. Inside, I go over in depth every process and I share real world use cases as well as frameworks that work. If you are interested, I'll link that in the description, so check it out if it makes sense for you. But today, I want to give you something actionable, something you can start implementing today to transform from a tools operator to an AI transformation architect. Here's the catch. Most clients won't tell you exactly what your problem is. They'll tell you what they think your problem is. They might say, we need to automate our cold email outreach, but that's just the surface. To find the real bottleneck, you need to dig deeper. I once worked with a company that said, our leads just aren't converting. We need to increase our volume. On the surface, that sounded like a simple volume issues. They just need to reach out to more people. But after asking the right questions about their follow-up process, their sales process, what their customer journey actually looked like, we discovered the real problem. Their SDRs were spending hours generating leads manually, which cut the time they had to actually handle sales calls in half. By the time they actually got to follow up, most prospects had already moved on to the next thing. So, instead of just automating the cold emails, we built a system that streamlined how the leads were being generated and prioritizing the higher intake prospects. So that just freed up the SDR time to actually close deals, dramatically increasing conversions and nearly doubling your revenues without just sending more emails. So you want to ask questions that matter, like, walk me through X process. What steps take up the most of your team's time? Where are the leads getting stuck in your process? How do you follow up? How do you actually get this prospect to get interested again? If we could fix one thing today, what would make the biggest impact on your revenue? And by doing just this, you can also identify more automation opportunities in these businesses that you can implement for them. Step 2, map out solutions to real bottlenecks. So, some of these 1% AI agencies have different ways of doing this. We have people that offer AI audits to actually audit the business, and we have other businesses that actually embed this into your sales process. But what's important here is you want to use the information that you've gathered in the previous step and map out your processes. So here, when you've mapped out the processes, you're able to easily identify the bottleneck in that business. So when you're doing this, you want to think about what in this process is taking too much time. What in this process is taking up too much revenue, and that's how you're able to identify these bottlenecks. And once you've identified the actual issue, you then want to design a solution. It could be an AI automation system, it could be an AI system that directly solves that problem. And step 3, you want to deliver measurable impact and present that clearly. Step 3 is all about showing impact, not features. As I said before, business owners don't care about what automation tool you use or how you use a new GPT model. What they care about is the outcome and the impact that it has on your business. You want to present it in a way that makes sense to them. How many hours you saved your team, how many more leads are being converted, how revenue could increase, or how bottlenecks were eliminated. And you want to break this down before pricing or implementation. Show them the solution and the measurable benefit first. Stop obsessing about automation tools because soon they won't matter. Instead, start learning about business problems. It could be operational inefficiencies, it could be seasonal patterns, revenue models, and talk to real business owners about the challenges they face. You have to develop that diagnostic skill. Try to look at business problems and see what the root causes are. When someone actually says, I want to automate X, try to dig deeper, ask the questions that matter to actually figure out the real issue that can give them measurable value. And when you're actually communicating that to them, talk in terms of outcomes, not features. I'm not here to scare you out of this business. The opportunity is massive. Businesses are actively investing into AI transformation and digital innovation. And a strategy that will get you to be part of the 1% and actually keep you there instead of just competing on price. The businesses that thrive are the ones that are able to recognize this shift and actively position themselves to be part of it. So, it's up to you to decide what kind of business you want to be. And with that being said, if any of this resonated, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're looking for a step-by-step way on how you can implement this, as well as get feedback while you build these real-world AI transformation solutions, then check out my free school in the description. I'll be linking that over there. And in future videos, I'll be going more in depth about this model and exactly how you can implement this. So hopefully I'll see you there.